All right, here we go. I guess this is how we're going to do it now. Hopefully it is up on your end. It's been a while since we have seen one another. I am glad to be here. Just checking a couple boxes right quick. All right, welcome back, investors, to Ticker Time News. I'm Adam, and the S&P 500 today increased 0.4% on Thursday, overcoming a 0.7% intraday decline. And if we look at the 5-minute chart here on the S&P 500, we can see that early morning decline and then this rebound. So we started the day right around this area here. And of course, we ended the day on the right side of the screen. Had a nice rally starting at about 12:50 p.m. Eastern time. The market just took off, right? Everything kind of switched, rebound. We got back above this support line that we've been teeter-tottering with for the past couple of days. And on the S&P 500, that's at about 4470. And we popped above it, used it as support, back tested, and then ran up, stalled a little bit when we got to our 200-day, and then proceeded and then sold off into the close, which has been pretty common though. So there we go. So the decline this morning was on no specific news. Go back to the daily view, and then I'm going to take volume away right quick so we can see this a little better up close. We can see the purple line that I have right here. This is the line, the area that we've been teeter-tottering around. Again, it's about 4470, 4475 or so. It's exactly where the death cross occurred back here on March the 14th, which also marked the low of the market before the market did its snapback rally. So that's an important area of support, and it's very key. And I do believe we're going to move sideways, kind of in between this range right here. Tough resistance right around the 4580, 4590 zone, and then support right here around the 4470 area. Maybe bounce around between that, back and forth. I do think in the short to midterm, we will be going to all-time highs, especially if the Fed comes out and makes any type of dovish statement, right? They're going to come at it hard because they want to battle inflation. And as the Fed battles inflation, they're going to kick up interest rates really fast. They'll probably do a 50 basis point next meeting, and that's going to spook the markets and cause the markets to go in a decline. They don't like a hawkish Fed. It scares them because a hawkish Fed is taking those talons and they are shredding up the money, taking money out of the market. And of course, then the market will deflate and slowly drop off. We could potentially, in the short to midterm, maybe get down to this bottom yellow box and retest our March 14th lows, but I don't think we'd go that far unless something drastic happened, like with headline news from Russia and Ukraine. I think, though, we're going to do more of a sideways move, and then the Fed is going to realize they're late to the game. They're going to have to make a very big move, and then they're going to come out dovish on the backside of that move, and that'll send the markets up to this all-time high. So that's a real quick take there on my thesis that I'm building here. For everyone that's been watching, you guys know that we've been talking about it for months. Now, again, no specific news caused the market to turn around and rally today. Just besides, I think we were here at this support level, and we didn't want to close below it because it's a very important level. Now, the Nasdaq, it got to a very important level today too. It rebounded to a 0.1% gain for the day. And to look at the Nasdaq, we go IXIC on TradingView, and there is a link in the description to a free account to TradingView for you guys. Look right here, this level on the Nasdaq, right about 13,800. 13,800. It's a key area. It's been used as resistance, like back here, over March the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and it's been used as support going back as far as February the 3rd, and again over here on February 11th and February 14th. So it's a very active line, 13,800 for the Nasdaq. Now, the Dow Jones today, it rose 0.3%, but both the Nasdaq and the Dow, they recouped intraday losses, just like the S&P 500 did. Then the Russell 2000, it still closed lower by 0.4%, despite a recovery effort of its own. It just was in a deeper hole. Now, two early headwinds for the market included technical resistance at the S&P 500. SPX is the ticker in TradingView for the S&P 500. And again, that 200-day moving average, it's hard to see on your screen here. It's the yellow line. It's coming across right here. It's just skidding over the top of yesterday's candle, and we're a little bit above it today. The 200-day moving average right now is at 44.91. So 44.91.7. So I guess you could round that up to 44.92. That's where the 200-day moving average is. And you can see we closed at 4,500. So we are just above that 200-day moving average. Yesterday we closed below it. Today we have closed above it. So that was a good sign. Plus, there was upward pressure in long-term interest rates. The 10-year yield, it settled higher by 5 basis points to 2.66% after trading at 2.56% overnight. And that was a big deal yesterday. Now, investors also aware of the hawkish mindset from the Fed continued to lean into defensively positioned stocks and sectors as the market drifted lower throughout the morning. So equities, however, they did turn positive in the afternoon without any specific news again, perhaps amid a contrarian mindset as maybe sentiment had gotten a little too bearish, right? Because we were on that support line. And, you know, a lot of the technical traders, they use these exact indicators to trade around. So we're getting a bit bearish. If you look at the RSI down here, it was already starting to move down, and it had been since the high that we reached on March the 29th, and it had just been sinking lower. And money flows, they have been holding up at an elevated level until the 4th of April, and then they started to turn and sink down. So things were just lining up in a bearish way. And again, on that support line, I think was the most critical component there. Now, the S&P 500, like I said, did reclaim its 200-day moving average on a closing basis, which is important to close above it. With the help of 7 of the 11 S&P 500 sectors, healthcare was up 1.9%, energy up 1.4%, and consumer staples up 1.2%. They led the advance. Likewise, real estate down 0.9%, communication services down 0.7%, utilities down 0.3%, and financials down 0.1% were the sectors that closed the lowest. Now, the CBOE volatility index, that also declined today 2.5% as hedging interest waned amid a rebound mindset action bouncing off of support. Now, in corporate news, I've got a few things to talk about. Costco, COST is the ticker symbol. Costco was up 4% today. Last time I checked, it was a little bit before they closed. So 3.98%, a 0.1% down in the after hours. A great day. They hit a new all-time high today. Can you believe it? Costco hit a new all-time high today after the company reported adjusted March comparable sales growth of 12.2%. People are stocking up on the groceries that they can buy. Now, HP is another interesting one in the news today, and that's HPQ as the ticker symbol. It surged 15%. Let's see where it closed. 14.75%. After Warren Buffett Yes, Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway, ticker symbol BRK.B. They disclosed a stake in HP. That is interesting. Buffett purchased about 11.1 million shares worth nearly $400 million. Now, we're working on a video right now that will be out later this week about HP and what made it an attractive story for Warren Buffett that he thought they should buy, they should get in on. So that video will be out later this week. I also have some bad news for us long-term SoFi Technology shareholders, SoFi. We knew it was coming. We knew it was going to happen, but it's just some more bad news to pile on for the company. Now, they were down 7.2% today, mainly because of this news, up 1.1% in the after hours. I still have my long-term thesis intact for SoFi, even though the company has fallen hard, right? I mean, $8.21 a share right now in the after hours. SoFi fell today because they lowered their fiscal year 22 net revenue guidance to below estimates to reflect the latest extension of the federal student loan payment moratorium. So all those student loans that they have, and that's really how SoFi came to be, SoFi that we know today, they're not going to be getting those payments for those loans for a little bit while longer. So that's why SoFi sank even more today. I hate to see it, but you know, that's the market, right? All right, I do have some good news for Constellation Brands. Ticker symbol is STZ, alcohol company, but they also have spritzers and other beverages. They were up 4.6% today, flat in the after hours. They have entered into an agreement for a $500 million, not just any type of, not just your normal share repurchase program or share buyback program, but a $500 million accelerated stock buyback program. That means they're going to spend the money as quickly as possible to buy back their shares because management, and this is what this is the sign that it portrays, that management thinks its share price is too low. And that's one reason to do a share buyback on an accelerated time frame, because management thinks the shares are too low. Another reason, of course, is to reward investors. When a company is doing a buyback, right, they're buying their shares back. That helps a stock price to accelerate, or not accelerate, wrong word, appreciate over time, go up basically, right? So this is a good news, a good thing for Constellation Brands. When you're considering a dividend stock, share repurchase programs plus whatever their dividend yield in, those two things should be factored together to give you a shareholder yield. And that's how you pick really good winning dividend stocks for your portfolio. You want ones with great relative strength over the past 6 months. That's something we look for in our dividend stocks list. Share buyback programs, the dividend yield, what's the company doing? Because we don't just want to give you 10 random, dividend stocks. We want to give you the 10 best dividend stocks that aren't just going to sit there and pay you a dividend while your share price starts to decelerate, but we want your share price to accelerate and appreciate over time. And that's where our top 10 dividend stocks list come from. You can learn more about it by clicking the first link in the description. All right, Meta Platforms has some interesting news. META. I think for the next couple of years, Meta Platforms is going to have a lot of interesting and different news to report. And it's going to be fascinating. Oh, I typed in Meta. Dumb me. FB, I should have typed in. They haven't changed their ticker symbol there. $223.05 a share right now in the after hours. But Meta Platforms plans to launch virtual coins for the metaverse. And the platform's monetization plans are starting to take shape. And we're working on a video right now on a deep dive that will be out later this week, talking about how Facebook is going to monetize the metaverse. And it's a very important concept. It's something Facebook is going to have to do in order to get back into good graces with investors and to have that money come back in and invest in the company. But a lot of cool, weird, odd news will be coming out of Facebook over the next, or Meta Platforms, over the next 2 years as they build out the metaverse and they start announcing these new concepts. Will they work? Will they take hold? So that's something to pay attention to. It's going to be different for sure. All right, this one may seem a little bit odd, but hey, who's to judge here? We've got World Wrestling, and their ticker symbol is WWE. And quite frankly, I didn't even know that they were a publicly traded company. We also have the UFC, right? Your Octagon Cage Fighters. I didn't even know that was a publicly traded company. Ticker symbol is EDR. And there's a third one, Formula One, which their ticker symbol is FWONK. All three of these, right? All three of these, World Wrestling, UFC, and Formula One, are all possible acquisition targets for guess which two companies. And this is according to a CNBC article. Netflix and Disney. Netflix and Disney, according to this article from CNBC, are considering to buy World Wrestling, the UFC, or Formula One and bring that into their streaming fold. That would be a very interesting move, because you know how much those companies get, right? On a pay-per-view, some big bucks. So that would be a very interesting move. I don't know if Dana White and the UFC would want to sell out to Disney or Netflix, but you never know. This is a very interesting twist in the streaming wars that I think is kind of interesting and worth paying attention to. That would definitely be a, whoa, where did that come from, right? But the possibilities of these acquisitions are definitely there, according to the CNBC article, and I think it's kind of neat and kind of cool, because it is something totally different that I don't think anybody would expect coming to a streaming platform. All right, and then finally, we've got Zendesk. Ticker symbol is ZEN. Now, we profiled Zendesk a little while ago, and we specifically talked about this problem. JANA Partners has sent another letter urging Zendesk's board of directors to immediately schedule a date for its 2022 annual meeting. And why do they want this date scheduled so quickly? Well, they want to sell the company. They want to look at who might want to acquire them. Maybe ticker CRM? Maybe. But we did a deep dive on Zendesk. I'll put a link in the description of this video, so you can check that out if you have some time and you want to learn a little bit more about what's happening with Zendesk there in JANA Partners. All right, so yeah, we did a video. It'll be in the link. So that's it. That's all I want to talk about today. I want to thank you again for being here with me and learning this information about the markets today. Remember, if you have questions, leave them in the ticker symbol and we'll talk about it in our next video. So with that said, if you could, this will be greatly helpful. Smash that like button, share this video, and click the first link in the description to beat the market with us. And if it's your first time watching, click that subscribe button. Thank you so very much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.